Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to another edition of The Arena. It is the midweek edition because today is Wednesday, and more importantly for football faithfuls, it is the UEFA Champions League night. Definitely the Red Devils, also the Old Trafford faithfuls, would not be happy with the results that they had yesterday as Manchester United crashed out of the UEFA Champions League, extending their trophyless run to over 4 seasons. It's on that note, I welcome you once again to the show. I'm Samson Oleide, and I'm not doing this alone. I've got with me Ojabowale Afolabi, a sports analyst and also the editor-in-chief of MMA Planet, who is here with me to discuss combat sports, and that's what we're delving into right about now. Ojabowale Afolabi, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. It's nice to be back, even though I'm not currently there with you.
Well, that's the beauty of our technology. You know, you can always join or be with me virtually. So it's good to have you on the show once again.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, let's start with combat sports, as I said, and it has to do with the world of boxing. The Joshua Usyk rematch is now in doubt, and that's because Alexander Usyk, the unified heavyweight champion of the world, has decided to go back home to his homeland, that's Ukraine, to fight for Ukraine in the ongoing Russian-Ukrainian war, and that has put in doubt the rematch, which was slated for May. Now let's look at the financial implication of the postponement of that bout, although it's not yet official, but it's as good as official in that sense. What do you make of the financial implication, not just from the Joshua side, but also from the Usyk camp?
So it's sad about the situation in Ukraine, and for the financial aspect of things, in the first fight, I think Usyk made about $4.1 million.
Exactly, as a challenger.
In the rematch, yes, as a challenger. So as a champion now was like slated to get a whole lot more than that, probably about 10 million or so. So and including pay-per-view bonus.
So that was like 50 million pounds.
Yeah, so maybe not 50 million pounds, maybe about 10, 11 million.
Okay.
Yeah, so with that, with the rematch in doubts now, that kind of puts it in not in a solid position. But the thing is, the beauty about it is we're talking about an interim title. Yes, so there were talks from Eddie that they were likely going to fight against Deontay Wilder or Joshua Parker. Yes, so I'm saying if, for example, Deontay Wilder beats Joshua for the interim belt,
yes,
when Usyk comes back, if he's going to fight against Deontay Wilder, he's going to make a whole lot more than 10 million because of the United States audience.
Exactly.
So, yes.
Okay, looking at it now, especially for Joshua, because the governing bodies, that's the belt that, Usyk has, the IBF, the WBA, WBO, I mean, they understand Usyk's position, and I think the entire sports world definitely stands in solidarity with Ukraine at this point in time. So it's understandable that Usyk won't be stripped for inaction in terms of title defense. But for Joshua, what are his options? You talked about Deontay Wilder, you talked about Joseph Parker. That also talks of a certain Otto Wallin in the mix as well, who gave Fury probably his toughest fights in over 5-6 years.
Yes, for Usyk, they are definitely not going to strip it because that would be very insensitive. But for Joshua, I would appreciate if he stays active, right? If you lose your belt in that kind of fashion, the last thing you want to do is just train. Yes, because by the time you train, it gets to a point where you start overtraining. So I think for Joshua, I would like him to rematch anybody. It doesn't matter if it's Deontay Wilder, if it's Joshua Parker, if it's Otto Wallin. I don't really care, but I want him, like, it would be a lot to be very good for him to fight against someone and stay active.
You know quite well the danger in that is if loses the interim bout, then it places his possibility of even having the rematch into question, because you have Fury and White going on as scheduled, and whoever wins that can decide to just go and press ahead with the unification bout for the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. For the MMA, why? We understand that the pay in terms of post bids and what have you isn't as high as we have it in the boxing side. But let's look at what the MMA can do differently, either in terms of promotions, bout promotions or fight promotions rather, to ensure that the post bid is gets an increase so that fighters can stay. Because right now it seems so many fighters are either trying to cross over or even leave the sport entirely for a new sport.
Okay, so the thing is, boxing payouts works differently from the UFC. This is because boxing is governed by many bodies, and then many promoters. Do you get? So if say Anthony Joshua wants to fight against Usyk, he has his promoter, he has Usyk has his person, so they kind of like bid for it, and then maybe they agree on 100 million, depending on how high profile the fight is, and then it's from the total cost bids that they now share out to the fighters. They pay 16% of their revenue to fighters.
Fighters, yes.
Yes, that's how it's low, right? Mm-hmm. But if you compare them to Bellator pays 44% to fighters. But it's like the 1% of the 100. It's like 1% of the 1%. So if you look at like the percentage of people that actually share that 44%, it's people that have fought in the UFC, that have made a name for themselves in the UFC. Okay. So what these fighters do is they come to the UFC, they try to get into the top 15, like they build their brand.
Hello, Afolabi, are you there? Oh, okay. Was having a bit of challenges hearing you regards the connectivity, but I get what you're saying. Let's look at it this way. You talked about boxing having different promoters, while the likes of the UFC or Bellator having just one. For mixed martial arts as a whole, now, don't you think they should also employ that strategy of having different promoters promote fights? That way, it has there's more money to go around, not just for the fighters, but also for the promoters as well. Afolabi, are you there? Okay, a bit of technical issues there, especially regards network issues, but we should get Afolabi back on the line as quickly as we can. We're talking about the possibility of MMA, increasing post bids for fighters so that they can also earn not necessarily an equal pay, but something commensurate to their status when it comes to various champions in the world of boxing. Remember, we talked about Usman Kamaru, who is undisputed, the undisputed champion when it comes to welterweight division in the UFC, and is the #1 contender. He earned $1 million for his win over Jorge Masvidal in the rematch, which is definitely paltry compared to the world of boxing where champions go with more. So, Afolabi, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. I lost you there for a bit. I mean, network issues. But yeah, I asked the question really. I said, don't you think the mixed martial arts should also deploy the same strategy that boxing has regards having different promoters promote, bouts? That way, there will be more money to go around, not just for the fighters, but also the promoters.
Yes, I agree with that. That is something they should definitely do.
Okay.
But the problem with that is the UFC has like a chokehold on like the best stars in the world. So, for example, you want Usman to fight someone in one championship.
Yes.
There's nobody else in one championship welterweight. So if it will get to a point where all of these other promotions, we have stars that have that kind of so everybody we have like similar clout. Okay. And when it gets to that point, the UFC will not have a choice but to. So right now they have a monopoly on the best stars. So they are not. What's the point? it's not like they have to do it. But if it gets to a point where the best bantamweight on earth is in Bellator, for example, then the UFC will be like, okay, you know what? No, this guy is. Let's get not even necessarily let's do a cross promotion.
Okay, promotion. Okay,
exactly. So it's just like what they did with Conor McGregor versus
Floyd Mayweather. Exactly. Now let's delve into the biggest one when it comes to the money spinning UEFA Champions League as quickly as possible for the Red Devils, the Manchester United faithfuls. It's a match they will want to forget as quickly as possible. I still have Afolabi Ojabawale with me via Zoom. Afolabi, United lost yesterday, and it's another low for them because they registered a 3-2 win over Spurs at the weekend, which was impressive. Ronaldo scored a hat-trick in that one, but they couldn't even get a goal at home. What do you make of the performance on the night, and how do United move going forward from here?
They had a decent first half, right? But
yes.
They did not do enough to break Atletico's defense.
Yes.
You know, Atletico always defensively sound, and they had a good game. Or you know, when you make defensive errors, it's hard to protect your goalkeeper. So it's not a good time to be a Manchester United fan right now.
Definitely not.
So they used to insult Arsenal fans and tell them they are trophyless, no Champions League. And right now, they're kind of like becoming the trophyless team of the Premiership.
Exactly.
So it's likely they're not going to make the Champions League next season. So it's just very hard for them.
It's what it is, you know. It can't be rosy all through. The times it will be low, and definitely these are low times when it comes to Manchester United, and you know the lofty heights that they are known for, especially under Sir Alex Ferguson, who has long retired, almost 10 years now. But let's move quickly from there. Ajax was also in action yesterday, but we won't talk about that because it's probably a match that didn't get as much viewership as possible, although they suffered a shock 1-0 loss at home as Benfica progressed into the quarterfinals. Let's preview today's matches for the want of time. Chelsea will be away from home, taking on Lille, and they have a 2-goal advantage, having won the first leg by 2-0. Now, Afolabi, for all of Chelsea's, you know, issues off the field, the uncertainties, the concerns, and what have you, it seems on the field they are still, you know, maintaining concentration, grinding out results, among others. What do you expect from tonight's performance?
I think on Saturday's match, it was announced that 3 was going to remove their branding from the jersey, and the players did not let that get into their head as they went into the match and did what they needed to do to get the 3 points. The one thing about Chelsea this season and under their coach is that they've always managed to stay grounded when they come out. Like for that 90 minutes, they don't let whatever is happening, maybe Lukaku is having problems with the coach or anything, like they don't let that stop them. Like they come in, do their job, get their 3 points and leave. So I'd expect a more defensive performance from them today because they have.
Okay.
I think they will still get them.
Okay, let's see how it goes